So, I'm supposed to be getting ready, and I am, but I also wanted to talk about something real quick. I need to find shoes. I need to eat something. I've already like put my hair up in a clip, brushed my teeth, and washed my face. I got a sweater to put on because it's chilly outside. But maybe I can like take them, because we're going up to my grandma's today. So, but I want to like take a minute and just chit chat. And just talk about some of my feelings, and then I'll most likely, pardon me as I'm like all over the place, do more videos on this, and definitely ones with my mom, because I don't know, I kind of flat on my mind. Let's see, oops, I need to open Facebook for a second. So one of my things is that I've always felt like for a while, I've always had to talk about like the positive and upsides to having Asperger syndrome. And occasionally, like, I'll talk about the downfall or whatever you want to call it. And it's weird because I have a Facebook group called Aspie Pride, and it's for anyone on the autism spectrum. Like, if you're on the autism spectrum, you can join my group. It's linked with my advice column, which that you can access, I believe, on my like main page for my channel, but probably through a computer. If you're looking on the top, you might see like some icons there. It might be there, it might not. But anyways, if you're curious, you can let me know down below. But I don't discourage people from ever talking about like their bad day or anything like that, but at the same time I feel like I can't be negative in that group. And I feel like a lot of people or like peers, they think everything's like great, and maybe for them it is, but for me it isn't. It's not beautiful and rainbows and butterflies and all that jazz like 24/7. And I've been doing a lot of work on myself and like trying to heal childhood wounds, things from my past, and just so much that, I mean, I'm not gonna get into it all because it's personal, but I've been doing a lot of work. And you know, I was kind of like upset with myself the other day and like taking things too personal. But then I last night kind of like had like this thought pop into my head that what if like all this stuff that I thought or I've been thinking, it isn't me, it's the Asperger's. And then I got really mad at Asperger's, and I get mad at Asperger's a lot. But I was just like, I think, and like my mom's probably mentioned this before, but it was probably in a video that was like really, really long. But she, you know, when I got my diagnosis and everything, like she went through a grieving period. And I don't think, and maybe she came to terms like, okay, this is it. But I don't know if I ever came to terms with my diagnosis or grieved anything that I should be grieving. And now I'm like feeling all these like different types of ways. And just getting like really upset and frustrated. So I took to Facebook, my personal Facebook, and I made a status. This was 10 hours ago. And I said, I was doing some thinking earlier, and I decided if I could be a neurotypical for a day, I would. And for those who don't know what a neurotypical is, that is someone who is not on the autism spectrum. So some of my friends have commented on it already. One saying, just to know what it's like, right? But I wouldn't want to permanently change either. My learning differences is a part of who I am. Now, I did say for a day, so I guess one could assume that I don't want to not be a neurotypical forever and ever and ever, that I'd rather just try it out on for size and then go back to being an Aspie. But honestly, like, there's more, I'll get more into that. So I said, you know, I was just curious what it would be like, how the other people live their lives, like how the other half lives, you know. I think it would be interesting to be in someone else's shoes for a minute, and then someone's was like, agreed, they're like, same here, but like only for a day, because I wouldn't know who I was if I wasn't anything other than someone with Asperger's. And then that is a thing that I like to say, you know, I'm someone who has Asperger's, I'm not Asperger's. It's just a part of me. Like, it's better to say, oh, that person is that person has autism, rather than that's an autistic person. You want to put the person before the diagnosis. So my response to that was, I think Aspie or NT, I'd still be me, because my personality wouldn't change. And if I was an NT for a day, I wouldn't know what having Asperger's felt like, so I wouldn't be able to miss it. And I think, I mean, unless you really truly have the capability and you're able to walk in someone else's shoes, like, you don't know what it's like. And since being an Aspie is all I've known for 30 years, I don't know what being a neurotypical is like, but I would like to feel that out. And if let's say I woke up tomorrow and I'm an NT, I would have not, I'm an NT, so how would I know what an Aspie feels like? I wouldn't know that. You know, and then I wonder if I like switch back after the 24 hours is up, but I'd be like, damn, or would I not remember? Like, would I remember these switches or not? So then my friend, you know, she wondered what a personality would be like, and that, you know, and all this stuff, and I'm thinking, and then she just doesn't want to be normal. So I said, Aspie or NT, I wouldn't want to be normal either. Like, who the hell has to be normal? Nobody. But wondering what your personality would be like, it would be the same. I do think there would be some changes, but it would probably, for me, like talking me right here, it would be for the better. Some people, maybe not. Then, you know, the last person said, not me, while it might be interesting to see what it's like to be a different person, I can't imagine being anyone else but little me. And it's like, listen, you're still gonna be yourself. Like, that's gonna irritates me, is being able to separate your personality from your disorder or your diagnosis or whatever. Like, you are who you are. Now, old me would have said a lot of things that my friends and people in the community still say, and that is, I don't want to be changed because I'm not fixed or broken and I don't need to be changed, don't change me. And if that's how they want to live their life, hey, free will, man. And right now they can do that very, very happily, because there isn't a cure, there isn't a fix, that's not an option. And that does bug me. A lot of things bug me. And I think if anyone can figure out why autism is a thing or what's causing it, it would be someone on the autism spectrum disorder. Like, more specifically an Aspie, because of how smart and like how our minds are. Like, picture like a Sheldon Cooper type, like, could solve anything. But I don't think they will, or they'll want to, because they like themselves just the way that they are. But your personality is still your personality. And I have an itch. And that's the thing, like, old me would be like, oh, if I wasn't an Aspie, I'd be boring, I wouldn't be funny, I wouldn't be all these blah, blah, blah. Like, nah. If I wasn't an Aspie, I would be less anxious, maybe have little to no anxiety, not deal with heavy-duty depression. I'd be able to sleep better, I'd have a gaggle of friends, I'd be going to more places, I'd be doing more things, I'd probably go see Macklemore in concert, because I'm still going to like the things that I like, because I like them. That's not going to change. I'd probably go on trips, maybe I'd have a lot of different relationships and travel with a boyfriend's family. Like, I would do so much that I currently don't do. So it would open my world. I would have gone off to college. I would have been a graduate by now. Maybe I'd hold a 9-to-5 job. Now, the thing with anxiety and depression and all that it is obviously something that does run in my family, so by genetics only I could have a chance of having it to some degree, but it wouldn't be to this big scale that it is now. And we all know that depression and anxiety can affect someone's sleep. So, you know, hey, and then I say I might have a job like 9 to 5, your regular you know, plain Jane sort of thing, but my mom for 25 years ran her own business. She was her own boss. Anyone can do and be whoever they want to be, regardless. So I think it would improve my world tremendously. And I probably would still be quirky. I'm sure a lot of people that are not on the spectrum, they're just quirky people out there. They're all different types of folks, you know, on this planet. And people honestly like say stuff like, well, I wouldn't be me. Well, I'm like, why? I think if you're a happy-go-lucky person, you will still be a happy-go-lucky person. If you're a Debbie Downer, you'll still be a Debbie Downer. Like, we can always change our personalities, and we can always strive to be the best versions of ourselves. And I mean, yes, that's what I like to do. So try to be the best me that I can be. But so many things are holding me back and weighing me down, and it's exhausting and it's frustrating and it's upsetting. And I think about my life and how 30 years has gone by and what could have been never was, and I had all these labels put on me that, you know, I believe to be true about myself, and they're not all true. And so then that involves negative self-talk, and then it's that downward spiral into that god-awful depression that happens. And it's like, I think, too, I would still want to make YouTube videos. And they'd probably be better, and I'd be less repetitive and less of a broken record, and not, it'd probably still be repetitive, because every YouTuber I watch, most of them, well, not all of them, but a lot of them, get repetitive, even neurotypicals. You know, like, think of YouTube. You watch all sorts of people on here, and everyone's unique in their own way, you know? So whether you are an Aspie and then you got the chance to not be and switch back, you know, that honestly, like, I'm very intrigued. And when people like say things like that they don't think they'd be themselves, I want to know why. And maybe I should ask them that, like, why do you think that? Like, I really want to like take this and have like a deep conversation with it. And then I definitely want to like talk more about this, but like get my mother's perspective. A perspective from a mom and a neurotypical. I always think that's nice to see, like I was saying, how the other half live. Because I do see, you know, parents, especially moms, will come forth and say like, oh, it's so heartbreaking to see my kid, you know, not be at the school dance, or if their child's young, like not being able to say, Mommy, I love you, you know, whatever the case may be. But I feel like with amongst my peers, whether I know them really, really well or just through Facebook groups, I just feel like we're on two different levels, two different headspaces, and I just want to bring up an open dialogue and just talk about the hardships and things that I don't think people really talk about. And there's no shame, you know, in feeling a certain way. You can be the proudest person in the world and love yourself, and that's great. Or you could really be down on yourself, like me, and you need a lot of professional help to work on that, and that's fine too. I think whatever we're going through, we should be able to talk about it and not feel like, oh my God, I gotta be careful with what I say because I could offend a bunch of people. And it would, because my mom would want to film things and she'd want to say, so what's it like being an Aspie and this, that, and so on and so forth. And I'd be like, it ain't great. Well, that's bad grammar, but you know what I mean? Like, for a while there, I'd fake it and say, oh, it's this wonderful thing, like, everyone should do it. And then I started getting really mad at it, and it's like, I don't have anything nice to say, so we're not gonna film a video about what it's like. But like, Honesty is the best policy. And someone did share something on Facebook that said, like, if vaccines cause autism, which we don't know if they do or they don't. It's a very controversial thing, a hot topic. I get all that in case you're like, you have an opinion on it. But basically, just the headline of the article, which I didn't bother to read because it annoyed me, sorry, but yeah, I'm not sorry, was that if vaccines cause autism, shouldn't we all get them? And my answer to that was no, no. And is it wrong of me to not want there to be autistic people? I don't think so. Because the way I feel every single solitary day and things that have happened to me in my life, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So based on my feelings alone, I wouldn't want someone else to have to live their life like I do. Because I wouldn't. And if someone said, you know, that we could like take all your pain and suffering away and all like the side effects of that, like you said terminology, side effects of what it is to be an Aspie and all the yucky bits away, and you could live this wonderful, blissful, joyful life. I know I probably use a lot of words that kind of mean the same thing, but like they say, guess what? You see that lady over there? It's her lucky day. You see that guy? Guess what he's getting? I'd be like, no. Let those people live, and I'll just continue to suffer over here, you know. But I don't want to suffer in silence. I want to like speak my truth. So that's